Welcome to the Conquest Champions Battle Report League, the ultimate competitive league for the Middle-earth strategy battle game. I've taken 8 tournament veterans and pitted them against each other in this elimination tournament. Round 1 is now complete, so if you haven't watched any of the previous 4 games yet, now's the time to do it because we're about to do a recap. The first game saw Will, the Isengard guy, take down Brody in a big 10-0 victory. Next, myself, Jacob, the Conquest creator, went up against Nathan the Hunter, and in a very tight game, I managed to pull off the win. Then we had Geordie going up against Rain, which was a victory in favor of Geordie, and finally we had Al, the King Under the Mountain, against Green Dragon Jeremy, and Jeremy's experience won out with a victory. This game is myself going up against Will.
Hi, I'm Will. Back again with my Isengard for the second round. Hopefully it's as good as the first one.
I'm back with my last Alliance army, led by Gil-galad with some Kingsguard, my Fight 6 elves, backed up by a full warband of Numenorians. It hits hard and it has good fight value. I think it's going to be enough to take down the Isengard.
Bringing the Legendary Legion Assault on Helms Deep for my Isengard list with a Balista and 30 warriors, shaman, and a captain who's been upgraded to 3 attacks and 3 mine.
I've made it through round 1. Now I want to make it through round 2 because the winner of this game is going to make it into the grand final. So I'm going to make sure that happens for me.
I feel pretty confident going into it. I think Isengard are a good, hardy list with good defense, good fight. Fight's not going to be much of an issue in this game.
Our terrain for this game is a ruined city of men. This is going to be a really interesting board to play on. There's plenty of line of sight blocking terrain and a river running straight down the middle. Infantry moves half speed through that river, so it's an interesting way to split up the battle lines. This is a super nice board and I'm happy to be playing on it. The Conquest Champions League is brought to you by the Mebree's Miniatures Patreon page. Each month, Mebree puts out an awesome collection of miniature STL files for you to 3D print yourself at home. Every month you get around 10 miniatures in the historical tier and 25 miniatures in the fantasy tier. For the fantasy miniatures this month, we're getting the Southern Kingdom Bannermen. These are Highlanders, Billmen, and Cavaliers. All of the models come pre-supported. Personally, I'm going to be using these models as the fiefdoms. Next month, we're going to be getting the Kingdom of the North, and the month after that, we'll be getting some Corsairs. If you want to get physical minis of all of Mebree's sculpts, pay attention to the Conquest Creation web store, because we're about to launch all of them. Supporting Mebree supports Conquest Creations. We're actually working together on a really exciting upcoming project, so if you want to see more videos like this one, make sure you go and join his Patreon campaign. Now, let's get into the battle report. So 3 scenarios were generated at random. We had Breakthrough, Contest of Champions, and Domination. Now we're going to roll up to see who vetoes each one first. Alright, Will, you've won the roll-off. Which one do you want to veto?
Conquest of Champions.
That is no surprise at all because Gil-galad would absolutely dominate that scenario. Now, I get to choose between Breakthrough and Domination. I think I'm going to play Breakthrough. So, vetoing Domination. So Will won the roll-off, and this is the table side he chose. So his first warband going down is...
None other than the Balista.
So using the terrain to his advantage there. My first warband to go down is going to be my Numenorians, and I think we just have to take the center of the board. I want to start fighting as soon as possible. I figured my archers wouldn't be much help if there's a ballista around, so in the front line they went.
So I'm going to place my main warband here with my leader and try and get the flanking maneuver on these Numenorians while the ballista is firing from up above everything else.
counter Will's big warband, I think I'm just gonna plug this gap where the objective is. And Gil-galad's going in that building. Then it's essential that the Elven Spearmen can support my Numenorians, because then they get the ultimate synergy with a Fight 6 backline and a Strength 4 frontline.
I'm going to place my Shaman's Warband about here so I can get the faction hopefully splitting up with the threat of Uruk-hai running down the other side of the riverbank.
And this is what the board looks like after our deployment. Looks like there's going to be a clash of lines very, very quickly in this game. And of course, our Balista has a great view of the battlefield. First turn priority went to the last alliance. Will, what have you done?
I called a point of might here with a heroic move. I also have Channeled Fury on the Shaman.
Declared a heroic channeling, and I countered that by declaring a heroic move with my Numenorian captain. All right, let's see the roll off. 1, 2, 3 goes to you. 4, 5, 6 goes to me. Goes to me. Numenorian captain just needs to end in a central position.
Now this allows me to send my Numenorians up. I could have charged in with the captain, but I didn't move him across so that the elves can engage on the other side.
This is very key because I want that heroic roll-off. This archer is actually able to charge into that shaman, which means he's not going to be able to call Fury this turn. So I've taken a point of might off him.
This was a bit of a rookie mistake by Will. I'm surprised it happened, but I'll obviously take the free might point.
I have one elf who needs to charge forwards, and he's going to take down this Uruk-hai's control zone. And then Gil-galad is charging into Will's leader. And after the heroic move, the troops have formed their line. You can see it wraps around, so I won't be able to get trapped this turn. And I'm very interested to see what Isengard is going to respond with.
I'm just going to move these guys in to fill the battle line. And then I'm also going to redeploy some of the pikes on an angle, like so. I'm actually going to move this support into behind the Berserker, and the rest of my models are going to charge like so. He has to charge. Or you have to charge both. We come back around and fill into this gap, hitting the warrior that's engaged. Trapping that sneaky little archer.
So the one archer that I sent into that shaman is definitely going to die, but Will's doing something interesting here. He's just running down the side, going for my back objective, which is worth 4 points to him. And he's sending one more Uruk around the building.
This is what it's looking like after movement. The Uruk-hai are pushing around the side, and it's just a huge clash of the lines. In the shooting phase, I have no shooting. Will, do you have shooting?
I do.
Alright, what are you going to do?
The famous Balista is going to target this poor sod right here.
Alright, makes sense. So,
4+ to hit. He gets a 5.
hits.
I do a scatter roll. 3.
3.
I'm going to use my reroll for my scatter roll.
Yep.
And I have to take this.
3 again.
So now you can choose any of your models within 3 inches of this fella.
So I'm going to put it onto this Numenorian back here.
Yep. No in the ways. So there's no in the ways there. So he'll go back D6 inches.
5 inches.
5. That will fling him into the tree.
So I think he's probably going to die from this, but let's see it.
Takes a strength 9 hit.
And that'll do
that
it.
will kill him.
He is dead. First casualty of the game. With the Ballista shot, that means that it is time for our heroics, and I will be declaring a heroic combat with Gil-galad. So he's feeling confident, and he wants to get some kills in there. Do you have anything to call?
I do not.
Alright, well, let's do this fight. So, Gil-galad's 4 attacks on the charge. He's got a 6, so he is winning that fight. Now, because he charged, the captain and the model that he's charged are knocked prone, I need 5s to wound the captain. So first strike on the captain, 1 wound, and I'll use the Lord of the West reroll. So 1 wound on the captain so far. Second strike on the captain, 2 more wounds. So you need a fate point to stay alive.
Can I
Might point?
mic that up?
Yep.
Yes, I will mic up.
Alright, 1 more strike at the captain. He is dead. Now I have a strike at the regular Urukai next to him, and I've also killed him. And Gil-galad has a Blood and Glory special rule, meaning he regains a point of might, so that was a free heroic combat. He is just going to charge forwards into the next line of Urukai.
Yeah, that was good play. I definitely misplayed my placement. Didn't realize Gil-galad was going to be that much of a threat so early. Probably should have deployed a little bit back.
In the first fights down the line, I lost a Numenorian archer, unsurprisingly, but he did his job tying up that shaman. Then I killed a berserker with my 2 Numenorian spearmen. And finally, another Numenorian was slain by the Urukai. Down the line, my Numenorian with a high elf spear support killed an Urukai. And then one of my Numenorians with a shield was taken down. My captain actually lost his fight and took a wound. Not ideal. I won this fight, but did not get the kill. The elf strength just not high enough. Let's do Gil-galad here. So I've got 4 attacks. I've got the 6. He's absolutely brutal. So 2 strikes on the first one. Kills. 2 strikes on the second one. Not killed. There we go. The 4 will do it. Takes down 2 more Urukai. Gil-galad is on fire. My elf was pushed back. And in retaliation, my elf with the spear support just pushed back the Urukai. And that is the end of combat. Gil-galad is certainly living up to his name as High King of the Elves. Goes into next turn's priority. Priority went evil this turn, but I'm going to call a heroic move with my Numenorian captain. Because Will has no might left in that area, I can just get that for free. So I'm going to start moving. My Numenorian captain starts by just charging 2 Urukai right in front of him. He's hungry for kills. And then we're just engaging the Urukai. Now I don't necessarily need to charge in all of these places here because the Urukai battle line is around my flank. So I just want to make sure I have an Elven Spearman in every fight so that I have the higher fight over those Urukai. It means that if I roll a 6, I win the fight. And that heroic move meant that I could send Gil-galad in to charge another combat. There we go. That's my heroic move completed. So it goes to Will's normal move.
Going to move the shaman and casting Fury while I move. Gets the Fury off on a 3+.
Now that Fury isn't that helpful this game because the only model causing terror in my army is Gil-galad. But against a lot of other armies, it's going to be really helpful. At the moment, I'm guessing that Will's just trying to do some damage control. Gil-galad just did an absolutely monstrous amount of damage to him last turn, but he knows that his troops are solid, and with the pikes, he will be able to grind through my army, especially because my captain is already weakened. So he's just trying to dress this battle line and get it to be optimal for him because at the moment I'm in a solid position. But I am worried about that Balista hitting Gil-galad. It has the ability to insta-kill him and he only has 1 fate that could save him. So in 1 turn, this whole entire game could change.
Just making a run for this objective.
Yep, makes sense.
Move him 5. I'll make it. And grabbing this one also.
So, playing the objective. Clever.
And the rest of the move will just be to try and get some guys in and whittle these little pesky elves Down, hopefully.
This goes to the rest of my movement, and I've got these 2 elf archers who are going to stay still because they can actually see the Urukai with a clear shot that are going for the objective. So that's what they're going to try to take down. The spearman friend, on the other hand, is going to go and help out the archer. And that is my movement completed, so it goes into shooting. Alright, so shooting phase, Will. What's the plan?
I'm going to disrupt the whole battle line if possible.
Alright.
I'm going to target this guy right here.
Alright, that will definitely disrupt the battlefield. So, need a 4 to hit.
4 to hit.
Rerollable.
Gets a 4.
That will hit, and let's see the scatter roll.
Rerolling my scatter roll.
Good thing. So
2.
I can change it to one of my models
Within 3 inches.
within 3 inches. I think this is sad. I'm going to put it on this elf just here.
Yep.
Alright,
Alright.
so that'll fling him backwards d6.
He is in the way of the combat in front of him.
That is true.
So there's the one combat in front. And it goes through the
Goes
combat.
through, so it hits
He
the
goes
elf.
back D6 inches.
5 inches,
5
but
inches.
does he die?
Strength 9 hit will kill him on a 3.
We'll kill him, exactly. Can you take him out for me? Alright. And that's going to go into my shooting. So I have 2 Numenorian archers here, and they're going to both fire at the Urukai with a shield in front there. If they kill him, they'll spill over to the pike. But they have both missed. And then I have those 2 elves that I was talking about. They're both going to fire at the pikemen with an in the way. So the first one hits in the way, hits the guy in front, and doesn't kill him. Now the next one hits in the way, hits the guy in front, but does not kill him once again. So both of those Urukai are still standing. That's going to go into combat, where I'm going to be declaring a heroic combat with Gil-galad. I need to maximize my damage output. Do you have anything to declare?
I do not.
Alright, well, let's roll it. So, Gil-galad's 4 attacks. There's the 6. So, first strike against the shield, dead. Second strike against the banner, dead. So that's 2 more Urukai taken down. And the banner, of course, passes off. But this is a great opportunity for me. I've now isolated that banner, and Gil-galad is going to charge those 2. Sorry about that. And the Urukai won this fight, just pushing me back. Now the next fight, I've got 1 Numenorian and an elf. So the elf and the Numenorian, it's a 6, so I'll auto win it thanks to that fight 6 from the elves. The elf against the berserker, that's a wound. And then the Numenorian just against an Urukai, nothing. So 6 up fury save. Not enough, so it takes down a berserker. And the other 2 are just pushed back. Next, my Numenorian looks like he's fighting a lot of Urukai, but I've got an Elven Spear support. I'm on the 6 there, so I'll win that. And the elf is white, and both going at pikes, so it gets 1 kill. Next, we have the captain with a spear support fighting against 4. So 2 Urukai and 2 pikes. I'm on a 4 there. You're on a 5. Take a banner reroll. To a 6. Wow. And kills 1 more Urukai. Alright, where to next, Will? You've got priority.
2v2.
Yep. 3 high.
5.
I'm gonna be in banner range there. But a 4 won't be enough, so it goes to you. 4 won't be enough, so I'll just push them back.
And then we'll do the 2v2.
Yep. A 4 as well, so I'll win on fight value.
I got a banner reroll.
You've got a banner, absolutely.
Oh, it's still there.
It's a 5.
5.
And you got that, and you've killed my elf. Alright, last fight of the combat is Gil-galad.
Ones, baby.
He hasn't not rolled a 6 yet.
Rough.
Alright. That kills the first one, kills the second one. So that is the banner killed. Very nice for me. Alright, let's roll priority while we're here. 2 to you. 2 to me, goes to me. Good priority. That's exactly what I needed. With my priority, I need to keep the objectives in mind, so I'm going to send my troops back to protect my back objectives. He's only got 2 Uruk-hai going after it, but 2 Uruk-hai is going to be enough to hold it, so I'm actually going to send 5 troops to go and cancel that. And back in the battle line, it's just a matter of engaging and holding our line. The main event of the movement phase is Gil-galad, and he's just charging into 2 more Uruk-hai.
We're going to just race for the finish, I think.
Uruk-hai playing the objective. It's a smart play. And I've hopefully got enough troops there to go and get him. And in the center, what happened in there, Will?
We filled a gap and we cut off pretty much all the supporting characters. And then we chuck the shaman in there as well, so if Gil-galad gets the combat off, we won't be able to charge the shaman.
Correct. Alright, that takes us into the shooting phase. Will, do you have shooting?
I do.
Alright, I'm
A few
guessing...
decisions I can make here.
That's true.
Could I wipe out that whole line that's just lined straight up for me? Or could I go for Gil-galad and hopefully get lucky?
Tough call.
These are the questions. I think I'm going to go for Gil-galad. It's the only smart thing to do.
Alright, so let's see if you can hit him.
4 will hit him.
4 will hit.
Now we do a scatter roll.
The all-important scatter roll.
Looking for a 6.
Not a 6.
Gonna re-roll it. Got a 5. Use my might point to make that a 6.
So that is a direct hit against Gil-galad. That is the devastating thing that I have been worried about this whole game. Alright.
So, we'll see how far Gil-galad goes back. Just 1 inch.
Just 1 inch, that's fine. Now you do a strength 9 hit on him.
Yep.
Needing a 4. Does not wound.
Does not wound.
But he is knocked prone.
Yes, and the 2 Uruk-hai in combat will take a strength 6 hit.
And one of them will die.
One of them will die.
Gil-galad pushed back an inch and he's lost his mount and is knocked prone. Man, that ballista is brutal. We moved over into the fight phase where I actually decided to shield pretty often here. In these one-on-ones and these one-on-twos, there's no point in me risking a troop. I just want to stay alive and ride it out while the rest of my army mops up where I have a big advantage. You can see that we got a trapped Uruk-hai and we can take him down, so we don't need to bother risking our guys who are outnumbered. And throughout these fights, it overwhelmingly went really well for me. That just shows the value of having a higher fight value than your opponent. If you're just not losing fights, you're obviously going to be putting out more damage, and that's what these Fight 6 elves provide to this army. Having a higher fight, lots of attacks, and a banner support gives me incredibly high odds of winning each fight. So, I lost priority, but Gil-galad's called a heroic move, and there's no might to counter that. He's just going to stand up and charge the 1 Uruk-hai that's on the ground. And then everyone else around him is just collapsing into all the fights that they can. I'm going to charge the shaman and his pike support with just a Numenorian warrior, and then the captain is going to go through and charge the model on the ground to help out Gil-galad. And then, sorry, he's not in range. And then we're just engaging the Uruk-hai.
I'm going to... This guy is going to charge this Numenorian, cancelling his threat. This Uruk is going to then wrap around and hit the second Numenorian. Uruk is going to... he's going to charge the single Numenorian here. Uruks on the bridge are going to try and hold off anyone that comes up this way.
Alright. So is that your move done?
I believe so.
It now goes to my normal move, so I can get the models that weren't engaged in my heroic move. So I'm taking this elf down. It's really important that I don't concede my objective. I really need to kill some of these Urukai, so I'm actually going to charge with both of these models into that front Urukai, and I'll have one elf come in and spear support. I've got the fight value, so hopefully I can get a kill there. So, Isengard shooting phase. What are you going to go for, Will?
I'm going to target Gil-galad.
Makes sense.
It's the only thing I can do that would be worth it. And that's a 6 to hit.
Hits, and the scatter.
Scatter. 4. I'm going to re-roll it.
And a 1.
So you can now select any model within 3 inches. It doesn't have to be your own. Or you can make it miss completely.
Can I make it miss completely?
Yes.
I will choose for it to miss completely. So it has gone wide of the mark. Alright. I don't have any shooting, so that goes into combat.
Yes, it does.
I will be declaring a heroic combat with Gil-galad. So that is his final point of might in his store.
Yep.
So we have Gil-galad fighting the Urukai, and I've got my Numenorian captain on the white dice as well. I'm on a 5. Urukai's on a 2. Unsurprisingly, he has been slain.
Yes, because you need a 4.
Need a 4 from Gil-galad. So that was my last point of might, which means that I need to go and get some more might. So the captain and Gil-galad are going to trap the shaman, and Gil-galad might kill him and get a point of might back for blood and glory.
In the rest of the fight phase, one of my elves was slain by an Urukai, and we retaliated by pushing back an Urukai and actually getting the wound on him. Next, we had a Numenorian High Elf combo fighting together. The Numenorian needed a 5 to kill the shield, and the Elf needed a 5 to kill the pike, and we got them both. On the other side of the field, we just got pushed back. We managed to push back another pike, and then across from that, a Numenorian was pushed back. We finished the fight phase by killing that shaman, so Gil-galad did it. He gets +1 might, so he's got 1 might in his store. And on the other side of the battlefield where the river is, I managed to kill an Urukai, and then the Urukai just looks like they've pushed back my archer.
Final fight of the combat, we've got 2 elves fighting, 2 elves and a Numenorian. I'm on a 5, they're on 2s. Does not kill.
Pushes me back.
This is the state of the board after that turn. Will, how many Urukai are left?
12.
12. So if 4 more die, the game is over. You've got pressure on my objective, and it looks like you've got a clear shot at that objective over there, so I really need to be playing the objectives now. Let's roll for priority. Goes to me. Does it?
It does.
With my priority, I'm engaging this Urukai out on the flank. And I'm being careful to remain within 3 inches of that objective with at least 2 of my models. And I'm going to trap that Urukai just to guarantee that I'm safe on that objective. Down on my back objective, I just need to outnumber him. So I'm going to charge in with the Numenorian. And I'm going to spear support. And then these other guys, they aren't going to get involved, but they're going to be within 3 inches of the objective, and that's what really matters. Across here, I'm actually just going to charge the Urukai with 1 elf, and then the Numenorian's going to run past to get closer to that objective. At this point in the game, it's essential that I remember to play the objective, so I'm sending 1 Numenorian back there, and then I'm tying up these Urukai so that I can send a second model, this time an elf there. My 2 models going after that objective have spread out. That means that the Balista will only be able to kill a maximum of 1 of them. My hero squad with Gil-galad, the Numenorian captain, and the banner, they're all charging in on just 1 Urukai. I've still got a point of might left, so I just need to kill 3 more models, and I will quarter will and end the game.
No movement for Isengard because everything's tied up, so we're straight into the shooting with this Balista.
Straight here.
Yep, that's definitely the right choice. So going for the objective. Can you hit me?
I definitely can.
Yep.
Scatter roll. 6 hits the target I want.
6 is dead on. He goes back.
5
inches. That's good. Alright, so that's going to hit the combat.
Yes, it will. It will hit. Oh, yeah, because then one. Both. Is that one? One combat? 2 combats?
One combat.
Yeah, we'll definitely hit the combat.
Alright.
So the guy goes back 5 inches, takes strength 9 hit, kills
So he's
him.
dead?
Then I'll roll for your guys first, then I'll roll for my guys.
Yep.
So the ranger takes a strength 6 hit, the Numenorian.
Yep. He is dead, he's defense 4.
Defense 4. And the elf, strength 6 hit.
Is
He's also
dead.
dead.
Alright.
The Isengard Uruk with the shield, strength 6. Does not get him.
And
And the pike.
a 3
Does not
will
get
not get him. Wow, that was the perfect result for you. Do you want to remove my 2 models there?
My guys will be knocked prone,
That is correct.
but luckily I did not lose a single model.
Yeah. Alright. That was a very successful shooting phase. Let's go into the combat phase next. I've got priority. Let's start with this Urukai in here. And in the combat phase, Gil-galad is going to call a heroic combat because I want to try to end the game this turn and walk away with a clean W. So Gil-galad's combat there. I've got 3 dice from Gil-galad and there's the 6 already. And then, can he get the kill? He absolutely can get the kill. Now Gil-galad and his combats are just going to engage these last few fights. The banner might just end within 3 inches of that objective as well, just in case something goes wrong. Gil-galad's been doing really well, and you might think that he's gotten crazy lucky, but he does have a crazy stat line. When he charges on horse, he gets an extra attack, so he has 4 attacks. Lord of the West lets him reroll 1, and that banner lets him reroll 1, so his odds of getting a 6 are really, really good, and he lets me take down that Urukai, and then the captain takes down that other one. The Urukai that is super trapped by elves and a Numenorian is unsurprisingly slain. Last fight of the game takes out my elven warrior.
Cheers. Yeah.
With the Urukai reduced to 7 models, they are a quarter of their starting value, meaning it is game over. The score is going to be 9-2 in favor of the last alliance. Got points for breaking, killing the leader, holding the enemy objective, holding the middle objective, and William got points for holding the side objective. So, good game.
So, got a loss on that one. Unfortunately, my Isengard frontline couldn't perform as well as I hoped. I misplaced a few key models, letting Gil-galad charge my leader on turn 1. Also calling Channel Fury with, again, a warrior being able to cancel that. Couldn't win combats and he just steamrolled me. It was a great game. I definitely look forward to coming back next season, hopefully with a bit more of a spice, but don't you worry, I will definitely be playing Isengard again.
Another great game in this league for me. I was really, really happy with how that game went. I think that I really got the synergy out of my list. The high strength from the Numenorians, paired with the high fight of the elves, just did an absolute number on the Isengard. I think the dice rolling in this game, I can't deny it, was definitely in my favor. But Gil-galad did exactly what Gil-galad does. He was an absolute monster and just ripped through Urukai. This means I'm on to the grand final, and I want to be the first Conquest champion. Given that I am the Conquest creator, I think it'd be a fitting title for me. What do you think?